Hello, welcome back to SCI Teach. This is a continuation of the expected question from the Jamb novel, The Lekki Headmaster. In my previous video, we looked at questions 1 to 25. In this video, we're going to focus on questions 26 to 50. That's another 25 questions. Now, in the previous video, I asked you about the author of the book and things about the author. So I hope by now you've gotten that the Lekki Headmaster is written by Kabir Alabi Gaba. So you can find that in the cover front page of the text. And so the author is Kabir Alabi Gaba. So he's the author, but he's also a journalist. So get some details about him. The book was first published in 2023. So just get those details, and then we'll see. Jamb may go as far as asking you who published it. Okay. On the book is written that the book was first published in Nigeria by Wine Press Publishing in 2023. Okay. And also remember that the book is fiction. I mean, the book, the story in that book, Lekki Headmaster, does not exist. It has not happened. So it's all the characters and events in the book are products of the author's imagination. So also remember that. All right. So let's delve into questions 26 to 50 of the expected questions in Jamb for English novel The Lekki Headmaster. Let's go. Question 26. What nickname did students give Mr. Beppo because of his humorous imitation of a TV character? Option A, the principal performer. B, the Lekki Headmaster. C, the village king. D, the stardom builder. So the correct answer is option B. You can see that in chapter 2. Even after Beppo became the principal at the secondary school, many still loved to call him the Lekki Headmaster. So option B, the Lekki Headmaster, is correct. Question 27. Why did Mr. Beppo initially resist relocating to the UK? A, he loved teaching in Stardom's school. B, he had no job offer in the UK. C, he feared financial instability. D, he did not want to leave his extended family behind. So option A is correct. You see that in chapter 2. He cared about them, wanted to continually be part of their growth. So he loved teaching in Stardom schools. So option A is correct for question 27. Question 28. What was the reaction of the MD when she discovered the cars parked on Stardom's property? A, she appreciated the cooperative's efforts. B, she suspected staff were stealing from the school. C, she was indifferent to the situation. D, she asked teachers to stop parking there immediately. So option B, she suspected staff were stealing from the school, is the correct option. So you see that in chapter 5. Where are teachers and storekeepers and every gardener getting the money to buy these cars. How did this happen to us? So she was already afraid that maybe there is something happening to the fund that and the funds of the school. People could afford this, knowing that the salaries cannot afford those luxurious vehicles. So she was afraid, and she suspected that staff were stealing from the school. So option B is correct. Question 29. Why was Mr. Fafore nearly sacked by the MD? A. He arrived late to school. B. He taught a concept perceived to be grammatically wrong. C. He argued with a parent in public. D. He falsified student results. The correct answer is option B, which is found in chapter 6. Ade as well as Jide comes early. The MD read, "Ladies and gentlemen, a teacher like Fafore has no place in this school." Now, that is where they felt that the statement comes instead of come that they felt was correct. They felt that comes was wrong. So the MD was about to fire Mr. Fafore before, the principal, Mr. Beppo, came to his rescue to confirm that the statement was actually correct. Okay, so option B for number 29 is correct. Question 30. What was the ultimate reason Mr. Beppo agreed to leave Nigeria for the UK? A. Economic pressures. B. His children and wife insisted. C. His contract at Stardom expired. D. He wanted to escape job insecurity. So option B, his children and wife insisted, is correct. And you can see that in chapter 2. In the war to win him over, his wife had conscripted Nike and Kike, their two children, who all the while had been with her. So the wife made the children side her and, kind of asked the dad, in unison to come over to the UK with them. So option B is correct. His children and wife insisted. Question 31. Why did the students call the principal principal? A. It was a humorous distortion of his name. B. It was derived from a TV show character. C. It mocked his habit of correcting pronunciation. D. It was a nickname given by his close friends. So option C is correct. It mocked his habit of correcting pronunciation. You can see that in chapter 1. Sometimes Stardom students called him Principal because he never got tired of saying the pronunciation of principal should not end with pa. It's pull. So he was always correcting them that it's not pronounced principal, it is principal. So because of that, students started calling him principal. So that's how the name came about. So option C, it mocked his habit of correcting pronunciation, is correct. Question 32. What was the MD's private health challenge? A. Chronic migraines. B. A painful condition in her back. C. A condition affecting her buttocks. D. Difficulty with standing for long periods. Option C is correct. A condition affecting her buttocks. And you can find that in chapter 5. This gateway was a top secret very few people knew, leaving her with a peppery pain whenever she sat for long. Okay, so option C is correct for number 32. Question 33. What policy helped Stardom schools reduce lateness among students? A. Increasing morning assembly duration. B. Lowering boarding fees. C. Shortening school hours. D. Imposing fines for late arrivals. The correct answer is option B, lowering boarding fees. You can see that in chapter 1. The result was instant. More than 80% of the parents moved their children to the boarding house. Moving your children to the boarding house ensures that they're already in school, so they don't have to come from outside and arrive to school late. Being in school with the school rules and everybody leaves and comes to school early because they're already in the school. So that's how they battled lateness among students. So option B, lowering boarding fees, is correct for question 33. Question 34. Why did Mr. Audu describe the MD as a witch and wizard rolled into one? A. He feared her disciplinary actions. B. He admired her economic strategies. C. He disliked her management style. D. He thought she was over demanding. Option B is correct. You see that in chapter 1. In matters of economics, he quipped, I swear the MD is a witch and wizard rolled into one. So option B, he admired her economic strategies, is correct for question 34. Question 35. What did Mr. Beppo consider as one of the best ways to start a small business? A. Farming. B. Owning and leasing vehicles. C. Opening a grocery store. D. Investing in education loans. Option B is correct. You see that in chapter 2. An option he could readily chew over was buying a bus or a cab and leasing it to a driver. So option B, owning and leasing vehicles, is correct for question 35. Question 36. Why did Mr. Beppo believe starting a transportation business was a good idea? A. It provided immediate cash flow. B. It required minimal maintenance. C. It had high prestige attached to it. D. It involved no competition. The correct answer is option A, and you see that in chapter 2. It is not like farming, where you had to wait till the end of a season or cycle before your seeds or animals begin to yield. So option A, it provided immediate cash flow, is correct for question 36. Question 37. What nickname was given to Mr. Ayesoro due to his facial marks? A. Mr. Tribal. B. Mr. Owala. C. Mr. Teacher. D. Mr. Marked. Option B is correct, Mr. Owala, and you see that in chapter 4. So prominent were the incisions that students nicknamed him Mr. Owala, a derogatory Yoruba appellation for a person with wild facial marks. So option B, Mr. Owala, was the nickname students gave to Mr. Ayesoro because of his facial marks. Question 38. What caused Mrs. Ignatius' family's visa application to be denied? A. Financial instability. B. Her husband's mistrust over Favor's paternity. C. Incomplete documentation. D. Favor's health challenges. The correct option is option B. Her husband's mistrust over Favor's paternity. You see that in chapter 4. When the visa processing reached an advanced stage, a DNA test conducted on their 3 children showed that Ignatius was not the father of one of the kids, Favor. So option B is correct. Question 39. What did the MD propose to prevent misuse of the cooperative funds? A. terminating the cooperative society. B. Limiting loan amounts to 250,000. C. Increasing monitoring of cooperative members. D. Encouraging staff to invest in real estate instead. Option B is correct. Limiting loan amounts to 250,000. You see that in chapter 5. The board weighed the threats and unanimously reached a decision. No staff member could borrow more than 250,000. So option B, limiting loan amounts to 250,000, is correct for question 39. Question 40. How did the MD feel after realizing she was wrong about the grammatical issue with Mr. Fafore? A. She felt justified. B. She felt embarrassed and deflated. C. She blamed the principal. D. She insisted on sacking him anyway. Option B is correct. She felt embarrassed and deflated. You see that in chapter 6. Silence. The MD had ranted publicly about an error that didn't exist. She had set in motion the sacking of a guiltless employee. So because of that, she felt embarrassed and deflated. So option B is correct. Question 41. What humorous act did Mr. Aldo perform during the MD's meeting about grammar? A. He defended the MD's stance. B. He jokingly pardoned everyone involved. C. He corrected another grammatical error. And D. He imitated the principal's voice. Option B is correct. He jokingly pardoned everyone involved. And you see that in chapter 6. I just want to say that Mr. Fafore, he began picking his words heavily, as well as the principal, he continued, is correct. And the MD, Mrs. Ibidun Gloss, is hereby pardoned, discharged, and acquitted. So that's how he jokingly pardoned everyone involved. So option B is correct for question 41. Question 42. What principle did Beppo learn at entrepreneurship seminars? A. Start big to attract attention. B. Start small but in a wealthy area. C. Avoid partnerships at all costs. D. Focus only on retail businesses. Option B is correct. Start small but in a wealthy area. And you see that in chapter 2. He did recall that a major principle of entrepreneurship is starting small in an area where parents are able to pay for the kind of education he wanted to provide. So option B is correct for question 42. Question 43. Why was the parent of a bright handwriting student upset with a teacher at Stardom? A. His daughter was given extra homework. B. His daughter was made to write notes on the board. C. His daughter was asked to stay back after school. D. His daughter's grades were reduced unfairly. So option B is correct. His daughter was made to write notes on the board. So you see in chapter 6, he had advanced counts bordering on exploitation, cheating, oppression, and visual exploitation. So option B is correct for question 43. Question 44. Why did Stardom Schools avoid suing parents? A. To maintain its reputation. B. To avoid expensive legal fees. C. To strengthen the teacher-parent bond. D. To protect its staff from scrutiny. Option A is correct, is to maintain its reputation. You see that in chapter 6, the matter was eventually settled out of court after a lot of pleas by the school. So that's the point where it shows you that they just want to maintain their reputation of settling matters out of court. So option A is correct. Question 45. What caused the clash between Mr. Bepo and the B-Sway school management? A salary dispute. B. A grammatical error in the school's name. C. An unethical act by a teacher. D. Poor performance of students. Option B is correct. A grammatical error in the school's names. See that in chapter 7. He had pointed out that the name ought to be the B-Sway group of schools, not group of school. So option B for question 45 is correct. Question 46. What was one of the MD's main concerns about the cooperative? A. It provided too many loans to staff. B. It might fund the creation of a rival school. C. It encouraged laziness among staff. D. It was managed poorly. So option B is correct. It might fund the creation of a rival school. You see that in chapter 5. What if the staff rebel and jointly establish their own school with the money? So option B is correct for question 46. Question 47. Why was the MD reluctant to sit for long periods? A. She had back pain. B. She had a chronic buttocks condition. C. She disliked staying idle. D. She was worried about her appearance. So option B is correct. She had a chronic buttocks condition. So you see that in chapter 5, leaving her with a peppery pain whenever she sat for long. Now, I'm putting this question to look as though it's repeated so that you will see how Jamb repeats questions in context form. You see, the answer is still the same, but the question was tilted. So this could be the question for one person, and that person faced the other one that was similar to this question. But you see and understand now how questions are repeated in Jamb. Okay? All right. Question 48. What happened when Mr. Audu joked about the MD's economic skills? A. He was reprimanded. B. Everyone laughed. C. The MD fired him. D. The principal defended him. Option B is correct. Everyone laughed. You see that in chapter 1. In matters of economics, he quipped, I swear the MD is a witch and wizard rolled into one. So you see others then responded, Auduan is naughty grammar. So option B, everyone laughed, is correct for question 48. Question 49. How did parents react to the reduced boarding fees? A. Many moved their children to the boarding house. B. They complained about increased excursion fees. C. They protested against the policy. And D. They demanded further reductions. Option A is correct. Many moved their children to the boarding school or boarding house. And you see that in chapter 1. The result was instant. More than 80% of the parents moved their children to the boarding house. So option A for question 49 is correct. Question 50. What was Mr. Bepo's ultimate dream after retirement? A. Establishing a standard school. B. Becoming a government official. C. Returning to stardom schools. D. Migrating to Canada. So you see option A is correct. Establishing a standard school. And you can see that in chapter 2. Bepo had also not mind establishing his own school. After all, he had garnered a lot of experience about teaching and school management. So option A, establishing a standard school, was Mr. Bepo's ultimate dream after retirement. So we've come to the end of this episode of the Jamb expected questions for the novel Lekki Headmaster. We'll come back for more questions in the next episode. So study the previous episode and this one before that one is released. Also subscribe to this channel if you have not. and share the video to your friends so that they can prepare better for English Jamb. Thank you. God bless you.